Hello, good morning, and welcome to a cold and frosty Scotland. Here we are just after Christmas Day. Hope Santa was good to you and hope everybody had a restful festive season. One of the things that happens at this time at my work is, of course, that the children and young people for whom we care have their Christmas at houses and homes that we try to make as special as possible. And my grateful thanks and heart goes out to all those care workers in particular and the NH staff and all the emergency service people who have spent their Christmas supporting us having our Christmas, no matter how difficult a period of time it has been. It is almost more or less dawn here in Scotland. It is just after 8 o'clock in the morning, and of course we're past the winter solstice on the 22nd of December, which is the shortest day in the UK, so we're now heading towards springtime, you would think. But of course, that having been said, it's heading into winter, and there's flooding and there's winds of 100 miles an hour and all the rest of it going. But for today, it is cold and it is frosty, but not as cold and frosty at an organisation of which I am a member. More of that in a moment. This is my new little addition to my wallet in terms of a membership card, which is the National Union of Journalists. I have become an associate member. I'm not a journalist. I don't see myself in that kind of way. I don't have a whole list of contacts of people that I'm keeping up to date with, ensuring that I am going to sell the next scoop or do whatever. I did think it important, however, given the amount of writing that I do, that I had some kind of union membership in order to support the journalists who are out there, but also give me some kind of protection should anything untoward happen, which is unfair with regards to my own writing. So I have always believed that having a combination of people together, no matter what political party I was a member of, but a combination of people together in order to support the cause was really important, and trade unions fit that without a shadow of a doubt. So imagine my surprise when I am not just a member of the National Union of Journalists, but my principal union I've been a member of for a very, very long time, a very proud member of. And indeed, at one point, if you weren't a member of this union, you couldn't work within that industry, and that is Equity, have found themselves in the middle of a storm in Scotland because they have made the decision to make redundant Lorne Boswell, a man of 30 years standing within Equity as a union, who has dedicated his professional career to the support of a vast number of Scottish actors and also Northern Irish actors, because he became the Northern Ireland organiser some years ago. Now, this has happened because we're in the midst of a pandemic. Equity are looking what they claim at a six-figure sum, £600,000 plus, of a deficit in their finances next year. They claim that 5% of the revenue for Equity comes from Scotland, but it takes up 15% of the resource that is expended in terms of regional offices. I'll come back to regional in a minute. It has led to an absolute barrage of complaints from Scottish Equity Union members, not least because Lorne Boswell is somebody who's a highly effective union organiser within Scotland. Now, I've never met Lorne. I've written to him. He didn't respond. It was in 2014 where I felt my civic duty after the referendum was not to abandon politics because I didn't get the result that I wanted, but to try and offer myself in a more civic manner. So I joined Amnesty International, and I also offered my union my voluntary services. He never wrote back, and I don't blame him for that, because I'm quite sure at the time there were more pressing issues, and certainly in 2020 there are far more pressing issues than the finances of a union to contend with within the entertainment industry. Equity is a cash-rich, asset-rich union. It has benefited for many, many years of high-profile members contributing high-profile amounts. On top of that, there has been no decision taken in order to do some form of asset stripping, give out and take away some of the plush office space that they occupy, and I am supposing it's plush because it's in London, and try and move perhaps regionally into a place that is cheaper. But instead of that, they are going to take away individuals, the human resource, the intelligence, the amount of experience that particularly members within Equity have found themselves benefiting from for many, many years. Lorne Boswell has been union rep for about 30 odd years. It may be less than that, it doesn't matter. The numbers that have been quoted by people over the time have varied from up to 30 to beyond 30. But the reality is, why would you take such an asset away? So let's go back again to the arguments that this regional office, and let me deal with regional first. Scotland's not a region of England, it's not a region of the United Kingdom, it is one of 4 nations within the United Kingdom. So to call it a regional office is a bit of a misnomer. It's a bit of a throwback to imperialism, to the way in which Scotland has been viewed by English-centric organisations for a long, long time. And listen, nae harm to them. That is what they have been brought up to see, that we are an outdated outback, an outpost of their empire, that we do not contribute the same as others. No, we don't. But it's the same argument that was used time and time again to stop ferries going to places like Mull or Iona or the Hebrides or Orkney and Shetland. It's the same argument that's used to suggest that single pupil schools in outlying areas and remote parts of Scotland should not be supported because it's too expensive. The fact of the matter is that people make a choice to live in particular parts of the United Kingdom. If you wish to be a national organisation, you have to respect that choice and you have to work with it. Unless, of course, you have more concern about your membership around Islington, Croydon, Sussex and Essex than you do in the outlying areas. God forbid that Boris Johnson should be the person coming out and saying that he wants to level out opportunity in the United Kingdom, whilst a trade union movement is attempting to centralise it. That, to me, seems utterly absurd. So, I got up this morning and I signed the petition. And I said that I wanted to support the Scottish membership, many of whom are now talking about breaking away and creating a new union, which would not be, to be honest, my preferred option. Because I do think that the United Kingdom has some benefits in terms of the strength of it, as long as it does recognise the national interests of parts of the United Kingdom. I would see nothing wrong in an international, under an independent Scotland, trade union organisation representing me, because I believe in internationalism. I believe in combinations between us and other countries. I don't believe in Brexit, but I do believe in sovereignty. And I do believe that what Equity and Maureen Beattie, a Scottish trade unionist, a Scottish actor, a Scottish representative, that she should take the lead as the Equity president and fully challenge how they have gone about ensuring not that their assets are protected, but that their representation, their support, their provision is universal throughout the whole of the United Kingdom, and reverse the decision to make a man who has dedicated most of his career to their union redundant a week before Christmas, when the furlough scheme still exists and has been extended to April. I can see absolutely no reason why any organisation, business orientated or trade union focused, should make their members, their staff, redundant until that scheme has been exhausted. So, Maureen, like me and Lorne, you and I have never met. Paul Fleming, General Secretary of Equity, like the other two, you and I have never met. Do us all a favour. Michael Mackenzie in his Twitter message says, we haven't even begun to fight this decision. Take a hint, it's not a threat. I stand with Equity Union members throughout Scotland in believing that this is an appalling decision and should be reversed as soon as is practically and politically possible. For the rest of the week, there's been no writing. I've been off work. I've been cooking away. We've had Christmas. We've kept as much socially distant as we can. I've got to the point now where I have to be honest, having dealt with COVID-19, having seen the devastation that it has managed to reap through the business that I am employed in throughout the day, I'm fed up arguing with the people who are on and on about, why is it I can do this but I can't do that? Why is it this? Why is it that? It's not fair. Do you know what? This is a pandemic. If we didn't do anything about it, it's the potential of wiping out the human race. You're not interested in doing anything about it, I'm not interested in listening to you. It's a bit like that woman who, and I started reading her book, Why I No Longer Talk to White People About Race. I no longer talk to stupid people about COVID-19. And the next person who tells me what I've got to remember, I'm potentially going to find myself struggling not to be physically violent. Do you know what people have to remember? This kills. Do us a favour. Stay safe. I'm at my garage. We do go out. I've been down here in order to collect my daughter, bring her up. She's here for the weekend. I'll be taking her down later on, back to her home in here. We are in a level 4 area. She's in a level 4 area. The only way of getting her up and down is to go outside the local area. But outside of that, we are doing as much as we possibly can to abide by all the rules. And I believe doing so. Please, do us all a favour. Wake up before you can't smell the coffee. Till next week. Bye for now. Oh, and when it comes, Happy New Year.